There's three primary components of trust. Now, this goes back to forging value and building trust. On the trust side of things, we have age, authority, and content. All three of these components are going to be very, very important for the work that you're going to be doing, and I'm going to explain what each of these means to you and explain how it's going to affect the work that you do as an SEO. These are fundamentals that are important in SEO, and we have to understand the fundamentals before we start implementing the strategies and practices. Now, if we want to succeed with SEO, we have to hit and tick off each of these trust components. Now, relevancy is what Google is after. Relevancy goes across the spectrum of these three components. So Google's aim is to deliver the most relevant search results quickly to people. It wants its users to find the answers that they're looking for, just like you would go on to the Google search engine and do a search. You want to be able to find that answer quickly. You don't want to have to search around for a lot of time. You want to be able to find that answer quickly at the top of whatever page you're clicking on, or whatever video you're viewing, etc. So let's look at each of these three components and see just what they mean. Now, content is pretty straightforward. Your content is going to be your well-researched, unique, high-quality content that you create. Now, the content can be an article, it can be a video tutorial, it can even be an audiobook, or anything like that. The content is going to be very, very important. So the content relates to on-page SEO, obviously. Now, content, we're talking about content that's done on your website. We can also do content that's done on authority sites, and we'll get into authority sites later. Speaking of authority basically means the link popularity of a website. So when we forge value and build trust, what we want to do is find other websites that Google already trusts to link to us. That's how we build authority. When Google sees other trusted websites linking to our website, our authority increases. Now, authority takes time to increase. It doesn't happen overnight, and we can't force it by creating thousands and thousands of links back to our website. That just doesn't work anymore. So we have to focus on high quality links. So that's going to be your work that's going to be done in authority. Now, authority is going to be done away from the website. So that's going to be off-page SEO or off-page optimization. The age is kind of a tricky subject. So the age is the age of the domain, but not necessarily when it was first incorporated. It relates to the time that it was first indexed by Google. So you could have registered a domain name in 2007. It wouldn't make a difference if Google didn't first find it until 2014 or 2015 or whenever. So the age is going to relate to the date that Google actually indexed that page or that content or whatever that is. So age can also relate to not only the domain itself, but to the content itself. So we can talk about the freshness of that content and so on and so forth. But when we're talking about age, we're really talking about the domain's age. How old is the domain? How long has it been around for? So why is that so important? Now, it's important because Google really, really has a hard time trusting newcomers to the internet. So when people tout that you can rank overnight or even in a week and get thousands of visitors to your website when you just registered a brand new domain name, they're not being completely honest with you. You can't really do that today. You have to actually have some sort of age behind you. Now, what happens is when you first come out, when you first register a domain name and you put up a website, you really aren't trusted that well. Think about if you would go to the bank and you just set up a business and you sit down with the banker and you say, I just registered this business. We have a great business model. We have a great business plan. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how much money we're going to make. The banker would look at you and say, do you have any track record? Do you have any sales? Do you have anything that you can show me? And of course, as a new business, you don't. So how likely is that bank manager going to give you a loan? Of course, it's going to be very little chance that you get that loan. Now, think about if the bank is Google and your new business is your website, of course, and you approach Google and you say, hey, trust me, rank me at the top of your search engine. I want to be able to, get free organic traffic from you guys. Of course, that's going to be very difficult because you have no age. So there are definitely some ways that we can enhance our age. We can talk about purchasing an age domain, for example, but, really what we have to focus on is building trust through age, and that's only going to happen over time. Now, there are definitely some other ways, some strategies where we can really leverage other trusted websites through content marketing, and we'll get into all of that later. But I just wanted you to understand these core components now. Relevancy extends across these three spectrums because there's relevancy signals that exist in all of these three, and we'll get into all of those later. Relevancy from, for example, how relevant is the link that's coming to the website? Is it coming from a sidebar, a footer, or is it coming from within the content? And does that content relate to your content? Of course, that will be off-page SEO. There are tons of different relevancy signals, and we're going to talk about it. But for now, it's important to understand these components as they relate to SEO, because we're going to be referring back to these quite often.